High Raw Life, episode 58, Raw Elegance. That's what we're doing. You know, it's the middle of the day and I had to make my lunch and I started playing around and doing a bunch of stuff and my plate started looking pretty, and then I was thinking, you know, I'm so gloomy with the weather. That little taste of spring just got me going, and now we have gray rain for a couple days, and I'm like, so I'm making myself a very fancy lunch today, and I wanted to share it with you. I made a few things already, but the last thing I'm going to be doing is making a sun-dried tomato pesto. So let's get started with that. I have 4 sun-dried tomatoes, or pieces I guess they are, that I soaked in just a squeeze of lemon juice and water. I'm going to reserve that in case I need some liquid, but I'm not putting any liquid in to start, okay? Then I have just a 1/4 cup of pine nuts. I'm just making a really small amount. You'd want to double, triple, quadruple this recipe if you were going to make a lot, but again, this is really just part of my lunch. So I have some fresh oregano that's kind of dried already, and I think I'm going to use just the smallest sprig. So yeah, you know what? I'll put it off into my hand so I can tell you about how much it is. So if you're going to use dried oregano, it's a little less than a teaspoon. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in. It's really fresh dried oregano because it dried right on there. I have a 1/2 clove of garlic, and I'm going to do 1/8 teaspoon of sea salt. And the last thing I'm putting in there, this is so super simple, is, let's see, I'll measure that for you. I was just going to pour some in, but I know people like measurements. 1/2 teaspoon of cold pressed olive oil. I may need to add a little bit more to get it blending around, but I'm hoping not to, and I'll probably put in the other liquid. Okay, so we're just going to puree this. Really easy. Sun-dried tomatoes, pine nuts, oregano, salt, garlic, olive oil. Oh, I don't think I need to add any more liquid to that. Let's see. I'll just scrape it down and see if I could blend it up a tiny bit more, but the texture looks really good. I just want this simple. I'm not getting crazy with ingredients here. It just is what it is. Okay, I'm just going to blend it a tiny bit more, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. That's all. Oh, it looks really good. Oh, it smells right on. Just what I was thinking. Perfect. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with it. I have Belgian endive. I know some people say endive, endive. You say endive, and I say endive. Anyways, I'm pulling off a few leaves. Use a spoon. And I'm just going to put a little spoon into each leaf and put it on my plate. Then I'll tell you what else I have on my plate while I'm loading these up. So you know the stuffing I make for the stuffed mushrooms? I totally love that. So I was making that today. That's sort of what inspired my whole plate. I started to make the stuffing to put away. Now I wasn't making stuffed mushrooms, so I didn't have the stems. So I just put in 1/2 of the portobello mushroom, and that was perfect. So I made that, and then I added some chopped up veggies to it, and I put it into, you know, these little baby peppers you can get at the store? Look at that. It's stuffed with my yummy stuffing with that white pepper. It's so perfect. So that's on my plate. And then next to that, I made, since I just used 1/2 of the portobello because the cap was really big, then I was thinking, what else can I do with it? So I did a veggie roll in a nori sheet using the other part of the portobello and some sprouts and scallions, and then I made this really nice sauce, and I didn't want to dip into it because I want to just go sit down and I don't want to make a mess after I'm done. So I made a really nice sauce, which I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret right now, but I put it inside. So there we go. I think I'll do one more. So I've been thinking about hors d'oeuvres lately. That's kind of also what pushed me to make myself an elegant plate of raw hors d'oeuvres. But if you made a whole bunch of these, you would have 3 different trays of items to bring to a potluck, to put out at a party. Yum, but it's lunch. See my fancy glass? Yeah, I'm not gonna have champagne in the middle of the day. I bet if I did, Zoe could get me to play some really fun games. But I'm not. I'm just having some organic raw kombucha. Just original, plain. I might throw a squeeze of lime in or something. Looks just like champagne, doesn't it? That goes really well with my fancy plate of hors d'oeuvres. You know what? It's okay to make yourself a really beautiful plate of food for lunch, even if nobody's over to share it with you. I wish you were here to share it with me. I am going to go sit down and enjoy this. And here's a toast to you, and thanks for watching It's a High Raw Life. I just finished now.